Alright, you guys, what's going on? This is Kevin the Full Metal Ginger, back with another Unholy Gospel. This is going to be the story of my first band. Yeah, my only band, Wired. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that because that was actually one of the best experiences of my life. Listen to Acid Witch, Stoned. God damn it, I can feel it in the air. Fall's coming. Getting ready for fucking October. So, this band was really short-lived. I'd like to tell you what our music style was, but yeah, we never defined that ourselves. This all started about October of 2002. We were all still in high school, and my friend Derek and I, we both play guitar, and we talked about forming a band and all that kind of thing, but we could never find anybody else. We've been talking about that since probably 8th or 9th grade. So now, at this point, we're in our junior year of high school. And he's starting to talk to our other friend, Jeff, who played bass. And we finally kind of coerced him into playing with us. So all we needed was a drummer. And drummers are really scarce. I don't know how many of you try to ever form a band in your life. At least around here. You know, I knew of 2 people who played drums, and they were already in other bands. And there was just a lack of drummers anywhere. A lack of, not necessarily people who could play fast, but just people who could play, period. So, we were friends with this guy, Mark. And he was a wild sumbitch. Like, we'd all be dragging into school really early in the morning, just fucking jaw on the ground, barely awake, and he'd already be fucking just, bouncing off the damn walls. Bad impression, but, yeah. And I thought, if we could contain his energy behind the drum kit, that would probably work out in our favor. So we kind of talked him into playing drums with us, and Derek was like, well, hey, I've got an old drum kit, you can play on that till you get your own kit. And he's like, cool, and we finally set aside a time. I think it was on a Saturday. One day we were going to get together and rehearse and see what happened. So the night before this happened, I spent the night with Derek, and we ended up falling asleep on the couch in his parents' living room. And the next morning, I was just kind of, I kept hearing voices, and I was like, what the hell is that? I didn't even know where I was. I was still, in a daze at that point. I was still half asleep. And I felt somebody touching me, and I was like, what the hell? And I opened my eyes, and Mark and Jeff are just staring at me like... So that was a weird way to get woken up. They had came down and we'd slept really late, apparently. They were supposed to meet us at 12 or 1, and they come down at 11. I guess they were early and we weren't. So, yeah, good way to wake up. So I ended up needing strings for my guitar. So we had to go to the local music store down there, and I think only Mark had a car at the time. Yeah. I mean, we were all... I don't even think we were 16 yet. Most of us. Yeah, all of us. None of us were 16 at that point. Fuck, I could be wrong. I don't know. I know Mark had a car. Anyway. So we're driving down the road, going to the music store, and this lady pulled out in front of us in her car, and the thing stalled out right in the middle of the road. And I could see her fucking getting pissed off and screaming, and she finally fires it back up and moves on. We end up pulling up beside her in the next red light. She was fucking pissed. We were just kind of sitting there, not thinking anything of it, and we can hear her in her car, just like, piece of shit. That's about how she said it, and we're just all like, the light turns green. We finally go. She takes off, and we're just fucking rolling, laughing because, she pretty much yelled it, but the way she said it was so damn funny. And I've never forgotten about that. And I guess her kid heard us laughing because, he jumped up in the back window like, looking at us and shit. I don't know. Just a little funny story. So we get strings for my guitar. We go back to Derek's house, and his parents had a old camper. There was nothing in it at all. There was carpeting, and they had like a little counter on one end of it. And I remember, the few other times I went in there, Derek could have his TV set up or something. We'd just go in there and chill and watch movies and shit like that. So we ended up setting everything up in there, and there's nothing else in there, so it was a perfect space to do it. We set up in there, and Derek had his old drum kit in there, and I'd brought my guitar and my little fucking 10-watt Boss piece of shit, barely working amp. And we just started playing around. We actually crafted out a song, a really stupid song, a really probably non-listenable song, but I mean, I will never forget that because that's the first time I've ever played my instrument with other people on the same, playing the same song with drums and everything, and it was just a really amazing feeling. My only regret is I hadn't brought my boombox up there to record a tape of it. I wish I had that, man. That'd have been fucking wonderful. But it was just like a little 3-note song, and I think Derek maybe had played a lead on it, and then we had like a break in it, a stop where Mark would said some fucking weird noise. But I mean, it was stupid, and it was probably sounded horrible, and it was out of time, out of key. We were all over the place, But I mean, that was seriously one of the best days of my life. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I remember that with a great passion ever since. It was just a wonderful, wonderful time. And we ran through the song probably, 6-7 times till we had it. We were fairly in time with each other. But anyway, at that point we were like, let's fucking do this. Let's start this band. So anyway, we left that day feeling pretty proud of ourselves, and the problem, like I said, was only one or two of us had a car at that time, so it was really hard to get to practice. So I believe the next time we might have practiced was this was October when that happened. We maybe practiced the next February. Was the next time we all got together. We got together a few more times after that, but I mean, just nothing ever came out of it like that first day. And I think a lot of it has to do with the lack of motivation and musical differences. Mark and I were pretty much into the same thing, me and Derek as well. Jeff was more into punk, but as the years kind of went by, we tried to get together. We were probably trying to jam together up until maybe we graduated, and by that time, man, I'm starting to get into some more metal stuff, like actual metal. Jeff was definitely into punk. Derek was kind of into the metal stuff, but he was still into more of the alternate rock and all that kind of thing. And Mark, who the fuck knows what the hell was going through his head? He was fucking crazy. But yeah, it just never really worked out after that, and we never really split up because it wasn't like we'd ever done anything to begin with. But it's still one of my favorite memories of all time, and I absolutely loved playing with them guys, even though we didn't really do anything. We ended up actually moving out of Derek's camper. We only practiced there that one time. We moved to it was Jeff's dad's house. He had I think they'd lived in a little single wide trailer, and then they bought a bigger house or moved. I think he built a bigger house or something, so they still had the trailer there, and Jeff's dad's band practiced there, and he had a PA and everything, so we started practicing there a few times, but I mean, nothing really, like I said, came of it, but it was cool kind of getting to mess around with that stuff. Just the really only regret I have is not having any kind of tape of that, any kind of recording, any kind of photos. That'd have been fun, cool to look back on, or any kind of video we could have done. Not necessarily music video, but just us sitting there playing. It would have just been cool to have. But I mean, damn, it was just a great time. We could have planned it a little better, but I think Mark and Jeff weren't all that into it, and Derek, I don't know, he seemed to play a little bit and then get bored, and other days he'd be all about playing. And me, I was just never that good. I never really could write. I never could write very well. The whole song we played, they came up with it, Derek and Jeff. So, and then Mark threw on a beat to it. But yeah, I don't even remember playing that song again. But yeah, we were called Wired, and we never did anything. But I mean, it was a really really good time, really good time, and I'll always cherish that. So that's pretty much the story. There's probably more I could tell you, but I mean, it's just I'm drawing a blank right now. I mean, it was so long ago. Goddamn, it was fucking 14 years ago. 15, 16 years old when that happens, though. It was to constantly repeat myself. It was a blast. I think someone's trying to tell me it's time to end this fucking video. So thank you guys for watching. If I come up with any more stories, you'll fucking see them here. So thank you so much for your support. See you.